30 seconds. Y'all try and smile. You're on TV, you know. Okay.
We won't have any sound.
That's why you have to smile.
Exactly.
Hey, Bean. What do you say, Bob? Good evening.
How you
Welcome
doing, brother?
to the Montgomery Waterson
Good to see you.
Boardroom, where the Board of Mayor and Aldermen conduct their business meetings. You are on TV, by the way. We usually don't dress like this. The men wear a coat and tie, and the ladies wear something that's appropriate.
Whatever we want to.
Well, they always look fine. But Fun Fest, we're right on top of Fun Fest, and there's a lot of citizens, maybe this is their first opportunity to participate in Fun Fest. Listen, there are a lot of free activities, a lot of low-cost activities, or things for the whole family, range and age and so forth, and it's just a fun time. So we like to help kick it off. But please join me and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, led by the New Vision Youth, and that youth group is led by Miss Johnny Mae Swaggerty. And then remain standing for the invocation to be led by Betsy, one of our aldermen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow your head. Heavenly Father, I pray that you will guide our Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting tonight as we discuss matters concerning our city. We ask you to fill all of our local, state, and national elected officials with wisdom, understanding, discernment, and knowledge. I pray we all choose to do what is morally right. I pray that everyone's motivation is for the good of the public and not their own. I pray that we feel your divine presence in our decisions and discussion tonight. Please guide our words, our actions, our decisions, so that we live out your plan for us. Continue to bless our city, our state, and our great nation. Let me end with the prayer of peace from St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek out to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, it is in dying to self that we are born to eternal life. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Please take seats. Alderman Cooper, thank you, and thank you, Miss Johnny Mae. Madam Recorder, please take the roll.
Mayor Schul,
Here.
Vice Mayor George,
Here.
Alderman Cooper,
Here.
Alderman Duncan,
Here.
Alderman Montgomery,
Here.
Alderman Alterman,
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Thank you. All 7 elected officials are present, as well as city manager and appropriate staff. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have some great recognitions to hand out tonight. And first, I'd like to ask if James Phillips will begin making his way to the podium, and if Coach Bingham would join him along with the members of his high school 4x8 relay track state champions.
We want to go, James.
Just right there.
Stay right here.
Yeah, I'll get you to, we make this as complicated as possible. So first, you face the board, then you face the TV after I give you the award.
I would like to apologize to the other alderman up there. I didn't mean to come dressed like a James Phillips campaign motion.
Money will be handed out later. I'm just kidding. So this is like deja vu. I don't really have any notes for this because I feel like I've already done this once. So we've got 3 of the 4 guys from the 4x800 relay team who in 2024 captured the state championship again in 4x800. And I say again because they were just here last year after winning the 4x800. So back-to-back state championships in that event. And so first I'm going to introduce everybody. We've got Caleb Haygood, if you'll just kind of raise your hand there. We've got Eamon Alshai, and then Gavin Thomas, and then Luke Massard. He could not be here tonight. They kind of carried him through this entire event, and so he just couldn't make it tonight. But in actual all honesty, Luke is one of the top runners in the state of Tennessee and has signed with the University of Tennessee and is already down there, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, he's already down there working with them. So so proud of these guys. So 3 of the 4 were on last year's team. Eamon is new this year, but let me tell you what happened since he's been on the team is they broke their own school record by 6 seconds over last year. So bring it up there. Good job. So we've got a little certificate here. I've got 2, so I want to make sure I got these right. Okay, yep. So the City of Kingsport and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen commends the Dobbins-Bennett High School 2024 track team for exemplifying the Kingsport spirit and breaking the existing state and school records in the 4x800 relay. Caleb Haygood, Eamon Alshai, Gavin Thomas, and Luke Massard were all on the 2023 state championship team, and this year those same students plus Eamon broke the school record by 6 seconds. I probably could have read this and got all my comments out of the way. So this is this one, and then hold on one second. I've got another one. So, and we'll pass this along to Luke's family. So, just as I mentioned, Luke is one of the top runners in the state, and so this is a commendation for Luke because Luke is the 2024 1600 state track champion. Okay, so City of Kingsport, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen commends Luke Massard for exemplifying the Kingsport spirit in winning the 1600 at the state meet on top of his 2-time All-State cross-country 3 individual school records, being a part of 2 relay school records and a 3-time relay state champion. So we wish Luke the best of luck in his running career at the University of Tennessee, and we appreciate all you all do for the City of Kingsport and just continuing to exemplify Dobbins-Bennett's outstanding athletics. So if you'll turn and face the audience there, and each of you can kind of hold one of those, and we'll let everybody see you and get a picture. So let's give him a round of applause. And Coach Bingham, if you want to say anything, you go right here. The mic is yours.
You got too many people here. Yeah, get the real business. Appreciate it, Jefferson.
Thank you, Coach. Roll Tribe.
All right, next we have our Keep Kingsport Beautiful Beautification Awards, and Sharon Hayes, the director of Keep Kingsport Beautiful, will come to the podium.
If anyone can keep their yard beautiful in this drought, they deserve an award.
Our water department appreciates it.
Good evening, everybody. First, I want to thank Boehm Landscaping for their continued sponsorship of the Beautification Awards. The first recognition we have, let's see, this is the home of Brent and Andrea Thomas on John Gaines Boulevard. The landscape here features azalea bushes, rhododendrons, hollies, evergreens, Japanese maple. The yard has flowering plants and bushes in the spring and fall and is green during the hot summer months. Mr. Thomas says he enjoys working in the yard 2 to 3 times a week. This is the home of Russ and Nancy Burgess on Devonshire Court. This home is located on a lot with mature trees on a cul-de-sac. The well-manicured lawn features beautiful boxwoods, Japanese maple tree, and a well-placed water feature. To the side of the 2-story home is a winding path to an outdoor space with a peaceful view and seating for friends and family. The landscaping also includes bright art pieces. This is the home of Jane Crowthers on Ethan's Court. This home's yard has colorful flowers everywhere and includes a water feature nestled amongst the flowers. This is the home of Stephen and Terry Belote on Rivermont Circle. This home's yard was selected right before Independence Day and features loads of patriotic decorations. Monkey grass lines the walkway to the front porch, which features red rocking chairs, a giant pink flamingo wearing a patriot hat, and a grapevine tree decorated with red, white, and blue lights that the owners turn on at night. Red geraniums and ferns complete the look. The business winner for July is the Carriage House on East Center Street. Owner Terry Jones, whose parents purchased the business in 1975, has displayed beautiful plants in pots and hanging baskets at the front of the business to welcome customers inside. The church winner for July is Waverly Road Presbyterian Church. The landscape here is well maintained and features a lovely seating area with plants and pots that greet visitors as they make their way to the doors of the sanctuary. Bright red flowers and plants add beauty at the base of the church sign. The redevelopment winner for July is Appalachian Community Federal Credit Union on East New Street. The credit union recently unveiled its newly renovated space. There's the before picture there, and here it is after. The credit union recently unveiled its newly renovated space designed with members in mind. The new branch features open, collaborative spaces for personalized financial consultation and community gatherings. State-of-the-art technology has been seamlessly integrated to offer convenient banking solutions. There's the night view of the credit union. Here's some interior shots. And there we have it. And I would like to ask all of the Beautification Award winners to stand and be recognized. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, and we really appreciate what y'all do to help make Kingsport a beautiful and desirable place to live. Thank you very much. I'd like to recognize our school board member that's here present, Julie Byers, who's also running for alderman. Julie, thank you for coming. Thank you very much. Mr. City Manager.
All right, next we have another recognition, and this is to our Public Information and Communications Department, and Alderman Betsy Cooper is going to recognize our team. I'd ask Adrian Batera and any member of her team that she'd like to bring with her up here for this recognition of this great work.
Okay, tonight the Board of Mayor and Aldermen is going to recognize 3 different public communication awards. And when I say different, I mean different. We're going to go from Christmas to Zombieland to goats. So the first 2 are the Public Relations Society of America, the Tri-Cities Chapter Award of Merit. And the first one is the Christmas in Kingsport. Christmas in Kingsport lives up to its hype as thousands of residents and visitors were able to enjoy a bit of Christmas magic thanks to a centralized event website dedicated to all things Christmas and a cohesive social media campaign that engaged the community. During the month of December, the Christmas in Kingsport website received over 7,800 views. The social media campaign did very well through the city channels and partner channels like Visit Kingsport and Downtown Kingsport Association. The top 5 Christmas posts each had a reach of over 11,000 people, with the top post being the tree winner's announcement that was over 16,000. The events were all well attended. One event to highlight is the Christmas at the Carousel, which had over 2,300 attendees compared to 1,500 in 2022. So Sarah, she has the award for the Award of Merit for the Christmas in Kingsport. The second one is something new to me, but I will definitely look forward to this coming year. It's Zombieland blog post. The community events website, This is Kingsport, not only lists upcoming events, but also features blogs and stories from the community contributors. One blog gained a significant amount of attention in October. Can you survive Zombieland? Contributor Matthew Lane interviewed a local lady who loves Halloween and how she celebrates her love for the holiday with the community. This blog had over 275 website hits and over 19,000 impressions on social media. With Christine Newman hosting the Zombieland in 2022, she said she had over 725 trick-or-treaters. Her goal for 2023 was over 750. With the candy she had purchased, plus a community donation, she had over 120 pounds of candy and 5 candy stations and ran out before the night was over. From her estimates, this past Halloween, there were over 900 visitors. So we need to figure out where that is and visit that next year. Matthew Lane has the award for that. The last one is the Northeast Tennessee Tourism Pinnacle Award Best Public Relations Campaign, and it goes to our goats. A herd of 100 goats were placed on Cement Hill, a piece of the city property, to reduce the kudzu and overgrown brush quickly, and they quickly became community favorites. A part of the fundraising effort for the New City Art Festival, they purchased 10 fiberglass goats that were offered to the public to sponsor the festival. Those 10 goats were claimed by sponsors within 48 hours and were painted and decorated. The artist designed the goats, created a lot of public anticipation for the art festival, which is where the goats would be revealed. Teasers on social media of a goat's ear or a side showing a little bit of the goat's theme were posted to increase awareness of the festival. Once revealed, selfie spots and a map were created for the public to follow the goat trail and take selfies with them. Affectionately dubbed the herd, the goats traveled through Kingsport to various parks, historic sites, and even rode in the local summer festival Fun Fest parade. Various businesses, including a tattoo artist, towing company, real estate firm, East Tennessee State University, and the Kingsport Chamber and Visit Kingsport sponsored goats. So, and you'll still see the goats all around town. I said that was a favorite of mine. In fact, last year, one of the goats disappeared, but a few weeks later, he reappeared. So, we appreciate all you do on social media. I said there's in Kingsport, there's never a lack of different kind of events and things that take place. And these 3 things, Zombieland, Christmas in Kingsport, and goats, just illustrate that. So thank you. Thank you for all you all do.
Thank you, communications team. Y'all do a great job. We've come to the point in our proceedings where citizens may come forward to speak on either agenda items, the items that we're considering tonight, or issue-oriented items of general interest to our community. When you come to the podium, please state your name and address and sign the register that is provided. You're encouraged to keep your comments non-personal in nature, and they should be limited to 5 minutes. A total of 30 minutes is allocated for public comment. Are there any citizens that wish to come forward and address the board? Come on up. He was here first, the guy that fell in the second.
I thought you started at 7:30. Good evening. I'm Tony Grills. My property is 3029 Cliffside Road, which is adjacent to the River Bend property. We have adjoining property, and there's 3 or 4 items that I'm going to just quickly touch on. And the main one that I'm concerned is the sinkhole that is in the back of my property that is actually located on the River Bend property. But this has become a major item of concern, I think, for Mr. Ken Weems. He came out and looked at it, and he felt like that it would be irreparable. If anything was built on it, it would possibly cave in. So that's one of the items that we have that we've been concerned about. And then the next one is the septic pump station, which is located down at the bottom of Cliffside Road. And right now, there's several visitations from the Kingsport Pumping, or whatever it is, the sewer department, that pumps that out on maybe 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes not quite that often, but they do have to pump it out. And I think, of course, Walmart's on that. We're on it, and I don't know where the areas that it covers, but there is a problem there, and you start building whatever it is to put in there more development properties, it's going to continue to put a burden on that property or on that pump station. So I think that really needs to be considered and addressed. And then the third situation is the traffic since they put the traffic light in at the River Bend Road, the traffic backs up all the way back up to the north side entrance to Cliffside. And sometimes we have to sit there 5 minutes before we can get out. And that we do have people that try to accommodate and let us out if we're coming toward town. But the problem is, you've got 2 lanes, or actually 3 lanes, the center lane to cross to be able to come toward Kingsport. And some of the people will stop at the first line, or first traffic line, but the second, you just keep seeing them come, and you're almost taking your life into your hand by pulling out. And another situation in that particular area, there is another street that comes off the other side, and there's been a couple incidents where I've almost had a wreck there by turning and coming toward Kingsport, and somebody coming out of that road, turning, and we're hitting right head on with each other. And then the fourth item is what we refer to as the River Bend drag strip. There's quite a bit of traffic comes through there, and sometimes in the morning there's a couple of people that come out of there. I don't know who they are, and I wouldn't address that anyway, but they're either sometimes they're on a motorcycle, and I don't know how fast they're running, but it could be a health hazard, because now with more development going in there, they're going to be passing those developed areas, and there could be accidents there. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Grills. And you know Mr. Weems, I presume?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I've talked with him. Yes, sure
Okay.
have.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Grills. Sir?
Michael Wayne Dean, 121 Delwood Street, Kingsport, Tennessee. I've been a licensed plumber since in the 90s. It took me twice to pass my test, but I passed it. And I don't know who took it upon themselves to, in 2021, to take that away from me. They said because I hadn't pulled any permits, which I was taking care of my mother and father, that's the top priority. Because I didn't pull no permits, which it shouldn't have nothing to do with it, they took that away from me. And that's unacceptable. I've called Nashville, the Commerce Department, and they say it's all on you. I don't agree with that, and we need to do something about that. I'm sure that I'm not the only one at all, but I know I am one. And I don't even know who it is that's over it. You know, I was in there with Zach Wright, Mike Freeman, D. Miller, fine fellers. I'd like to get to the bottom of that. I mean, I don't know why in 2021, whatever happened with you changing your whatever you changed, that you took that away from me. That's unacceptable. Because my mother and father's passed away now, and I might want to do some work. Okay, my second issue is the water bill. Now, I don't know who does your math, but I went to Dobbins Bennett, and I don't know who does your math, but who does the math? Who does the water bill math?
First, let's take these one at a time. Your first problem is kind of a personal thing, but please.
Personal thing? No, sir, it's not personal.
Please leave your name and phone number so
Yeah.
we can get a hold of you.
Oh, yeah.
And the second one, we do have people who are concerned about their water bill at times. They think it may be erroneous. And it's easy to go downstairs on the first floor and discuss it with the clerks down there.
I have every time, because what I'm saying is, my bill stayed the same, went down to 1,500 consumption, went down to 1,500 gallons, went down to 1,000 gallons, went down to 500 gallons. Now, the math that I do, if you get half of what you're supposed to get, then your bill ought to be cut in half. And if you get half of that, then it ought to be cut in half again. I don't know what kind of math y'all do, but I know my math, and it went up.
Again, I don't think we can resolve this tonight, but make sure you.
Oh, yeah,
leave
I
and
understand
your
that.
address also.
I understand, yeah. I mean, you know, there ain't no magic hands or nothing, you know. I understand. But that's pretty much all I got today. I'm sure there'll be something next week.
All right.
So just putting it right down here is good enough for you to
Yeah.
get a hold of it?
Our folks will get your name and phone
And
number and
I'll,
address.
I'll put a
and they'll
phone
do-
number in
they'll-
here
They'll
with
do
my
some
address.
research and we'll get back to you.
Yeah. I want to thank you, appreciate you keeping this city the way it is. You know, it's one of the cleanest cities I've ever been in. I've been all over the United States, Union.
Well, thank
and I've
you.
been in some nasty, but I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, sir. Are there any other citizens that wish to come forward? You got another fellow behind you.
Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir?
Gary Edmonds, 152 East Ravine Road. I've signed in here. I don't have an issue with the agenda. I do have an issue-oriented item I'd like to discuss. The issue is road repairs and priorities. I've recently returned from several trips out of state in Michigan, Pennsylvania, Maine, places where they have ice, snow. And I just didn't travel the interstates. I was in neighborhoods, commercial areas. And ladies and gentlemen, as I returned to Kingsport, again, I'm just reminded how terrible many of our roads and their intersections are. Just within a mile or a mile and a half of these chambers. Heavily traveled roadways, connectors to Stone Drive, holes, depressions, humps, cracks, separations from concrete and asphalt. Specifically, the bridge on Clinchfield, cracks, holes. Gibson Mill between Campbell and Dorothy, cracks, holes, humps. Catawba between Oak and Piedmont, cracks, holes. That's right in front of the school. Watauga between Linville and Gibson Mill, cracks, holes, depressions. And then there's the intersection at Sevier, Tennessee, Boone. It's like going through the Six Flags amusement park. I've been here 3 years, and nothing's changed. Nothing's been done. I've talked to neighbors who have been here many, many years. Some of them have been born in Kingsport. That's the way it is. Just live with it. Nothing's changed. I find this unacceptable. Now it's election time, and that's primarily why I'm here. We have people who are running for the mayor, people running for alderman. There's candidates, some up here, some of them even long-term aldermen. Some are maybe out in the audience, I don't know. But it's a time to hear something that I think that's important. These repairs, lasting repairs need priority. And hopefully with a new leadership and an upcoming budget, that'll happen. But as I read the newspaper, where several mayoral candidates have commented on their backgrounds, their vision, what they see the issues are, what they're going to work on, here are the priorities: better communication, term limits, economic growth, planning for the future. Now, those are not unimportant, but they're shallow campaign rhetoric. Bringing down the ballot health care monopoly. What's that? But that's a priority. Reducing poverty, crime, homelessness. Really? The mayor and the aldermen, this group here is going to address such complex, multifaceted problems for our community? In a community where in Kingsport schools, 5 out of 10 third graders fail when tested reading, writing, and comprehension, 6 out of 10 in Sullivan County schools. Elementary education is a problem that feeds and results in poverty, homelessness, crime. And that's a priority for us. I pay taxes. I vote. And I think that we ought to put our priority, not that other things are unimportant, but put a priority on schools and roads. That's basic to any city government, basic. So I'm just here to ask that you make these priorities, these repairs that I specifically said, a real achievable priority. I thank you. I got 2 requests. One, as you leave tonight and leave these chambers, if you would purposefully go and take one of these routes and trying to experience what I've just described. Secondly, interview some of your transit bus drivers. They know where these roads are and where the problems are, what needs repair and attention. And lastly, any 4 of you I invite tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m., I'll pick you up. We'll go to Pal's, get a cup of coffee. I'll take you on a ride.
Thank you. You hit the time limit. Thank you.
Let me know. Thank you much.
Are there any other citizens who wish to come forward? If not, then I consider this part of the meeting to be concluded. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we have appointments on the agenda tonight. The first is consideration of appointments to the Bays Mountain Park Commission. It is recommended to reappoint Russ Brogdon, Robin Kirkhoff, Woody Reeves, and Colette George. We'd ask that you approve these appointments, please.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the first set of appointments that pertain to Bays Mountain Park Commission?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Any discussion?
I'll be abstaining.
The Vice Mayor will abstain. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
The item passes 6-0-1. Next item.
Next item is consideration of appointments to the Network Sullivan County Partnership. It is recommended to appoint Tim Dean and Andy Hall. We ask that you approve these appointments, please.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the appointments to networks?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next is the approval of minutes from the June 17th, 2024 work session and the June 18th, 2024 business meeting. We'd ask that you approve these minutes as submitted, please.
Thank you. Both sets of minutes have been provided to the members. Is there a motion to approve both sets?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Cooper. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, next item is a public hearing. And this is going to be conducted by Jessica McMurray. This is a public hearing in consideration of an ordinance to amend zoning of tax map 77H, parcel 1.10, and a portion of parcel 2 located along Riverbend Drive from the B4P Planned Business District to PD Planned Development District. Jessica?
Thank you. This is an owner-requested rezoning located along Riverbend Drive. On this map, you can see the vicinity of where the site's located. The request is that the property be rezoned from B4P Planned Business District to PD Planned Development District to accommodate future townhome development. A public hearing notice was published June 24th, and we did receive comment at the Planning Commission meeting from citizens in the abutting Cliffside neighborhood who expressed concerns about the sinkhole sewer connections and traffic. Staff did meet on site with those neighbors to gain a better understanding of those concerns and shared those concerns with the developer. The developer was also in attendance at the Planning Commission meeting. Staff also discussed traffic and sewer connections with appropriate city departments, citing no negative impact. During their June meeting, the Planning Commission did vote to send a positive recommendation to rezone from the B4P zone to the PD zone. And I'm happy to answer any questions the board may have.
Thank you. Board, any questions for Ms. McMurray?
B4P, what all could go there in that zoning?
It's
Is it professional?
professional offices, like you see out in that area. There's a dental office, there is a gas station, there's the Dollar Tree, and then the Walmart is even part of that B4P zone, and the Blake is as well, so.
Anything else for her?
Jessica, could you just give us some clarification on, since there was a citizen comment on this about that when you all looked at it, I believe it was stated that
The sinkhole.
that it could cave in. Could you?
That's not exactly what I understood, and then I know that the developer, when we shared those concerns with him, he stated that it was not their intention to build back in that area, and they would be at a minimum 100 feet away.
Yeah, but I think earlier Mr. Grills had said that I visited out there and made those statements, but that wasn't quite the context of our conversation. I didn't comment on the potential of that falling in or the hazards associated with it. But we did have a very engaging and a great conversation about that sinkhole, just for everyone's awareness. So, yeah, if that's what you were referring to.
That was what I was
Okay.
trying to, so I just want to make sure.
Are you good, James?
Yeah, I'm on planning, but I was at the work session for this, but I was not there for where they voted on it, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Okay. Board, anything else for either Ms. McMurray or Mr. Williams?
And I'll abstain from this vote.
Yes, ma'am. Anything else? Okay, at this point, I declare that we have a public hearing open, and the purpose of the public hearing is to address only this matter. When you come to the podium, please state your name and address, sign the register. Are there any folks that wish to come forward to talk about just this item? If not, I declare the public hearing to be concluded. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to further amend the zoning code text and map to rezone property located along Riverbend Drive from the B4P Planned Business District to PD Planned Development District in the 11th Civil District of Sullivan County to fix a penalty for the violation of this ordinance and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. We have new citizens all the time, so I'll remind them, on the first reading, we take a voice vote. A voice vote. On the second reading, we do a roll call vote. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
It passes with 6-0 and 1. Okay, thank you. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budgeted ordinance for various funds in fiscal '25. As you see in the executive summary, this is targeting two specific areas. One, our transit system, as pertains to federal and state dollars, as well as local, and then also the water project fund in association with upgrades that will be made. We ask that you approve this budget ordinance on first reading, please.
First reading. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Montgomery. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
It passes 7-0. Let me pause. All the members of the board meet individually with the city manager to go over the items that we're voting on. After that, the board has a work session. We do not vote at work session, but we go over the items together, resolve any issues or questions that we can. And then finally, by the time we get to this point where we're voting on the items, we're comfortable with what we're seeing. Okay, Mr. City Manager.
All right, next item is consideration of an ordinance to amend the fiscal '25 general purpose school fund budget. As we discussed last night with Dr. Hampton, Director of Schools, and David Fry, the Chief Financial Officer for the Kingsport City Schools, this is a budget request to amend the fiscal '25 budget in the amount of $2,519,600. Purpose of this is to provide an additional 4% cost of living adjustment increase for Kingsport City School employees. This was done as a result of an evaluation of the market, realizing that our teachers, in order to remain competitive, in order to attract the best and the brightest, we needed to add additional dollars into their budget in order to make that happen. I felt like the conversation with Dr. Hampton last night, as well as conversation I had leading up to this, they've done a very good job of evaluating past budgets, the current budget, looking at the dollars that are available, and looking at what they would be able to sustain year over year, even if no additional dollars were available to them. This budget is a reflection of that. It's a reflection of their conservative budgeting that they've done year over year, knowing that they'll have this available. And so, as we have talked with our operations, the market is extremely competitive, and we recognize that there's a need to move forward with that in all aspects of what we're doing. You're looking at me and say I got
Did
ahead.
we skip that one?
Yeah, we did. No, I'm sorry, we got the water project, and then we're moving into the Board of Education, so yeah, we're on track.
Yeah, we're on the school fund.
Okay.
You got me confused, Mayor.
Okay. I should just turn the page. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the general purpose school fund budget for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Alderman. Any discussion?
I'll just reiterate what I said last night. I think we know we've got to focus on employee pay, and we have to pay our teachers, and the fact that this moves our teachers to sometimes first, sometimes second highest paid in this entire region is very important, because in this new climate, it's crucial that we are able to keep the people we have and hire people that are looking at this job as a career and want to stay in our city.
Thank you. Any other comments, discussion? Yes, I appreciate Dr. Hampton and Mr. Fry coming to the meeting last night and going over this in some detail. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, moving forward, next item, these items are on second reading. This is consideration of an ordinance to update section 102-226, table A, in regards to the user discharge restrictions of the sewer use ordinance. Again, this comes to you in second reading. We'd ask that you approve this on second and final reading.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances, City of Kingsport, Tennessee, Section 102-226, Table A, user discharge restrictions, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Duncan. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? If not, Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, the item passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a budget adjustment ordinance for various funds in fiscal '24. Again, this is on second and final reading. We'd ask that you approve the budget ordinance, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance to amend various fund budgets for the year ending June 30, 2024, and to fix the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? So moved. Moved by Alderman Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Montgomery. Any discussion?
We have to do the public hearing on this.
The next one.
The next one.
Gotcha.
If not, Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman. Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, the item passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, the next item is on second reading, but we will also be holding a public hearing for this, and this is a consideration of an ordinance to amend Chapter 114, Article 3, Division 5 of the Kingsport City Code as it relates to floodplain zoning. Ken Weems, our planning manager, will walk us through this.
Thank you so much, Chris. We do receive these model ordinance updates from FEMA periodically, and they need to be approved to remain as a participant in the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP. These updates are pretty similar, new definitions, permitting procedures and standards for permitting structures in particular flood zones. We did get one updated community panel that reflects a minor change in flood mapping within the city limits, and I did want to just show it to you here on the screen. It's out in the Northeast Tennessee Business Park. And it's right down there at the end of Wallace Alley, and just a very small area there in the very back of the Leclerc Foods parcel, and would have hardly just no impact to them really at all. It's just a matter of probably a couple of hundred square feet. I'll show you the zoom in of that area here with the updated flood panel map right there, and you can see that back property line right out the back of it, just barely. It's a matter maybe of a couple hundred square feet that changed on them, but it's not going to really impact that parcel because that's at the very bottom of a pretty steep bank, so I would say there'd be no impact there. During their June 17th call meeting, the Planning Commission voted to send a positive recommendation to the board in support of approving this text amendment. The public hearing notice was published on June 24th, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that the board might have.
Thank you. Board, any questions or comments for Mr. Weems? If not, I declare that the public hearing is now open and it only pertains to this item. Are there any citizens that wish to come forward to speak about this item only? If not, I declare the public hearing to be adjourned, and Mr. Attorney, please publish.
An ordinance adopted for the purpose of amending the City of Kingsport, Tennessee city zoning ordinance regulating development within the corporate limits of Kingsport, Tennessee to minimize danger to life and property due to flooding and to maintain eligibility for participation in the National Flood Insurance Program.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? If not, Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper.
Aye.
Alderman Duncan.
Aye.
Vice Mayor George.
Aye.
Alderman Montgomery.
Aye.
Alderman Alterman.
Aye.
Alderman Phillips.
Aye.
Mayor Schul.
Aye, the item passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, moving into other business, your next item is consideration of a resolution to execute an agreement with Frontier Health for counseling services for Kingsport City Schools and authorizing the mayor to sign all applicable documents. This comes to us from Board of Education. We ask that you approve the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving the execution of an agreement with Frontier Health for counseling services for Kingsport City Schools and authorizing the mayor to sign the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Alderman Duncan, seconded by Alderman Alderman. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to purchase 4 pull-behind truck leaf loaders from Sourcewell Cooperative Contract. Again, these are replacement vehicles, and you can see here kind of an idea of what those look like. Run behind the truck, pumping the leaves, or blowing the leaves into the back of the truck. Won't be too long before these will be out, unfortunately for many, but we ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order to Cox Tractor utilizing Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Agreement number 031121-SCG for 4 pull-behind leaf loaders for use by the Public Works Department.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Montgomery. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to purchase 3 2024 Ford Maverick all-wheel drive pickup trucks from the Tennessee State Contract number 80355. Again, these are fleet replacement vehicles to be used at the water treatment plant and by our engineering department. We ask that you approve this resolution authorizing the purchase, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of 3 2024 Ford Maverick all-wheel drive pickup trucks from Lonnie Cobb, utilizing Tennessee State Contract numbers 80355, and authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for the same.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second? Second. Second by Alderman Alderman. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to purchase 2 2024 Tacoma Access Cab two-wheel drive with a 6-foot bed from the Tennessee State Contract number 80358. These will be used by our water reading services. There was a need for a longer bed. Tacoma provided that, and as a result, we'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing the purchase.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of 2 2024 Toyota Tacoma Access Cab two-wheel drive with 6-foot bed from Allen J. Fleet Sales utilizing Tennessee State Contract number 80358, and authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase order for the same.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So,
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to authorize the mayor to execute agreements with various agencies and organizations for services in fiscal year 24-25 benefiting the general welfare of Kingsport residents. During the approval of the budget and the second reading, theoretically authorized the funding for the agencies listed on this page. Within this document are those agreements as well as the expectations that we have for each agency receiving funding from the city of Kingsport. Approval of this action form tonight will allow us to move forward the execution of those documents and to move forward with the disbursement of funds. Now, later in your agenda, on consent agenda, you'll see that the Pet Works agreement, which is part of this during the budget process, was signed earlier, and you will simply ratifying it for the mayor. We need to provide them with their funding a little bit earlier than what is being done here, thus the reason for that. We'd ask that you approve this resolution, Mayor.
Okay. Of course, within our information you provided, the funding amounts are included, but as a matter of explanation, we've also voted on this. It was in our budget, which began July 1st, the fiscal year. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute agreements with various agencies and organizations for services in fiscal year 2024 to 2025 benefiting the general welfare of Kingsport residents.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
so move.
Moved by Alderman Alderman, seconded by Alderman Montgomery. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to award the bid to Summers Taylor, Inc. for Kingsport resurfacing project pin number 129800, contingent upon concurrence by TDOT and authorizing the mayor to sign all applicable documents. As we have stated to you since July of 2019, when this item was first approved, We have finally moved through the necessary steps that we've been asked by the Tennessee Department of Transportation. Finally bring this item to you to pave the roads that are listed within this.
Right.
This has been a process that has made its way through COVID and then made its way to where it stands today. We're hopeful to have the concurrence of this bid by TDOT very soon to allow this work to be done by this fall. We will obviously keep you all posted on this, and updates will also be found in your project status report, part of each and every agenda. I think it's important to note that this, much like what we discussed last night, reemphasizes the priority that we have placed on road work throughout this city since 2017. Problem is, prior to 2017, there was not that priority. There was not the funding that was being provided in the amount that it is. And each year for the last 5 years, and quite honestly for the last 8 years, we've tried to exceed the amount of funding budgeted each and every year, and we're able to do that through the power franchise fee, which allocates over $3.5 million more towards paving each year. And that is what we've been able to manage, along with what we now are trying to supplement with funding as identified here, as well as trying to leverage TDOT to better pave their roads throughout the city of Kingsport. A little bit more on that, but wanted to simply provide that context as it relates to this.
And Mr. City Manager, there's no reason to believe they won't concur with this.
Well, that is our hope. These are very competitive bids, which is very promising, and I think this it's already passed through a couple of hoops within TDOT, and we believe it'll get through the last one.
These are key roads: Moreland Drive, Netherland Inn Road, Cooks Valley Road, and Fall Creek Road. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution conditionally awarding the bid for the Kingsport resurfacing project, PIN number 1298000.00, contingent upon concurrence by the Tennessee Department of Transportation to Summers Taylor Incorporated, and authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement for the same and all documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Phillips. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Any discussion?
I think this illustrates that a lot of the roads in Kingsport don't belong to Kingsport. We have to depend on TDOT to pave their roads, and this kind of illustrates that a lot of the roads that need paving are not city roads.
Well, true. In some situations, you have state routes, and our staff works very closely with the state on their resurfacing schedule, making them aware of issues, and in some situations, going in and doing significant intersection repairs to those state routes. These dollars actually allow us to take state funding and move them off state routes, but hit what we would consider collectors or minor arterials, and this is what this is. And then you also noted last night, and you've recently taken action to where you're putting additional MPO money towards these roads. Problem is when you utilize state dollars versus local dollars, it is typically going to take longer. I don't think we would have anticipated that one of your first actions as mayor would also be one of your last actions as mayor, as basically the
That's
same
true.
item, but it is unfortunately taking time. But yes, that's accurate.
When you, way back when we chose these roads to be the roads that had this funding, we could not go back at any time and swap out roads. I mean, we're kind of on that path waiting for this funding.
Any change would have
It would have
restarted the whole
restarted the clock.
process.
Yeah.
So this has
And
been 4 years,
Right.
5 years.
July of 2019.
I voted to put the money toward it.
Okay, so the fiscal year began on July 1st. Over the next 12 months, we expect to spend over $10 million.
Well, when you look
Paving.
at the amount of money that the state of Tennessee is paving on their roads, Airport Parkway is one, if you've seen that, it's recently been paved. In addition to that, funding that we see here, which we anticipate going out, as well as what we're budgeting for local roads, yes, we are in that $11 million
Right.
mark in terms of road work that needs to be done. We're still catching up, and I tried to emphasize that a minute ago. We'll continue to catch up, but we're putting more money to it than we ever have.
I think that some of our citizens, particularly ones that might have moved here in the last 5 or so years, may not realize we have 53 square miles of roadway within the city that we have to maintain. and much of it has been paved. There's wonderful new paving in lots of areas, but people get in a certain traffic pattern and they don't see those areas.
Well,
That's my view.
Chris, I thought something interesting that you mentioned during that meeting. Up until 2017, what was the most amount of money the city of Kingsport had ever spent in a year on paving?
When we're looking at local dollars.
Local dollars.
Local dollars, the most that we had spent at one time was $600,000.
And since 2017, the minimum that has been spent on local dollars is 3.5 million.
On average. I think we've, since 2017, as the fund was established and ramped up, we moved from a couple million up to 2.5, up to 3.5, and so forth.
Okay,
And
so
that
on
was when the
average.
franchise fee was.
Yeah,
Here's a big spin.
So would we be able to pave 500 miles of road since
For
2017?
citizens are unaware, this is Mr. Ryan McReynolds, our deputy city manager. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, so really the first item the board tackled at that time, which was tremendous, was obtaining a sustainable funding source. If you can't do anything unless you have the money to do it. And that was established in that 2017, and it ramped up. It began really around the 1.8 million to what this board passed this past year at 3.8, which is phenomenal. And that allows us not only assurance, and it's a sustainable paving. A lot of individuals would think, well, let's pave everything all at once. That's not sustainable. One is we can't get it done. It physically could not get done. But one of the most important things about what we do with the area-wide, and then where we know where we're going for the years to come, is in front of us, in front of the paving's kind of like the icing on the cake. The year before, all the utilities are in there fixing everything. Because the last thing we want to do is this board invest millions of dollars on repaving, and through actions that could have been prevented, it get cut. Now, there's always times that stuff can't be prevented, but we try and make every effort possible when we do go in. And the city manager mentioned the years of less investment in it. This first go-around where we're going around in the prioritization, I'd really encourage people to get on Pave Kingsport and the website, pavekingsport.com, and look at the prioritization. We're having to go backwards and fix a lot of base issues as well, because when we pave, the desire is that those areas we pave are going to extend for 20, 25 years as very good roads. And you don't have the alligator cracking and everything that has occurred. Kingsport has got a lot of asphalt overlaid concrete, which is not a good situation. So when we go back on the asphalt overlaid concrete, we spend a lot of time with polymer fills and different things to extend the life of the asphalt. When we do it, we're going to do it right. But you can't do it all at once. The asphalt companies would revolt because they wouldn't have a sustainable business model. They could not do it, quite honestly. And you don't want every road in Kingsport failing at the same time 25 years from now either. You need it balanced. I wish 30 years ago the board had done like this board has done and created a sustainable paving program, because then we would have something we could work with well. We're investing in the future for that. And as the mayor mentioned, those areas we've been at, and you can go to Pave Kingsport and see the progression of the mapping. And if you don't believe it, drive those areas. There's been tremendous input this board has allowed to those areas.
Great point. PaveKingsport.com.
PaveKingsport.com.
People can go to that.
Yep, and
So-
we're more than, Michael and myself, Tim, we're more than happy to meet with whoever, whenever, and walk through the whole program. That's not a
And
problem.
we've got about 500 miles of road, right? We've
That's
paved
right.
recently, just over the last few years, a little over 100 of that.
Yeah, and one of the things this does, the action tonight, is it allows us to leverage the state dollars, because we could eat up a whole summer's program on some of these large roads. Eastman Road, the width of it, you'd eat up an enormous amount of your ability to pave throughout the whole city just on that road. So it's into phase 2 of these, Eastman and Clinchfield. So, and the approach, as this board knows, has supported, is data-driven. It's through the LiDAR. It's, where we obtain that every 5 years, the PCI, Pavement Condition Index, of every segment of road. So the decisions that are being made are defendable. They're transparent, they're defendable. There's not a decision that's being made, and I can say without any doubt, this board has never told me, hey, go do this, because we have presented to the board the data-driven decisions, and this board has done a very good job at supporting that, and it's all based upon that technology that then assess the roadway conditions.
I presume later in the fall, you'll give us kind of the annual.
Yes.
Where we are on paving.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else for Mr. McReynolds? Mr. Attorney, did we put this on the floor?
It is on the floor, Mr. Mayor.
And I got a motion and a second.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to approve a contract and recycler agreement with Loomis Armored US LLC. As described last night by Lisa Winkle, our city recorder, there are some distinct advantages to having this and the partnership that we currently have with First Horizon from a banking standpoint. We're placing these not only here at City Hall, but also at Bays Mountain and the Aquatic Center at Chief Efficiency. And it also will further help us in terms of how we manage cash. So we'd ask that you approve this resolution authorizing us to enter into this agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an agreement with Loomis Armored US LLC and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all of the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Montgomery. Any discussion?
I'd just like to say that it's about time that we were able to really check our finances, get them out the door with it being checked and rechecked with professionals.
Yeah, I mean, this one and the next
Yeah,
one we're going to vote on
that's right.
combined together, we've got a better system.
Yeah, I've got them both.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy. Anything else? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of resolution to adopt a citywide cash handling policy. You'll see the policy as part of the resolution within this document. It identifies various ways and means that staff will be asked to manage and handle cash throughout the city based upon the guidelines that have been stated. We'd ask that you approve the resolution.
Guess I can't get my last check in cash, can I?
No, sir.
Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution establishing a policy for cash handling for the city of Kingsport.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to approve a lease agreement with John Hendricks and to allow the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper as they pertain to the lease. This is located at 2000 Stonebrook Place. It is property that the city purchased some years ago. It's formerly been used as a driving range. It also has adjacent to it former putt-putt facility. Mr. Hendricks has indicated his desire to reopen the driving range with a top tracer driving range. We look forward to that. This lease will allow him to utilize that property for that purpose. He is hopeful at some point he could also reopen the putt-putt facility, but definitely something from a driving range standpoint that is needed in Kingsport. Yes, you approve the resolution, please.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving a lease agreement with John Hendricks and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Alderman Montgomery. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive 2 grants from the State of Tennessee Department of Disability and Aging. As you see stated within here, there are 2 grants, both of which are competitive. One is a major award of $100,000 that will be used for the Kingsport Senior Center main site if we are successful in being able to obtain that. Also within that, we are looking at a minor award of $10,000 for virtual programming to be used based out of the Linview site. We're hopeful and look forward to hopefully getting positive news on these in the very near future. Again, competitive grants for these programs. We'd ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to apply for and receive these grants.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive a major and minor competitive senior center grant from the Tennessee Department of Disability and Aging.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Olderman. Any discussion? I'll say that Ms. Buchanan gave me a strong feeling that we're very competitive. Great grants to get. There's no further discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next is consideration of resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of tire recapping services to Best One Tire Company. A familiar company to us, but with a new name. They were the apparent low bidder. And when bids were opened in May, we ask that you approve the resolution authorizing us to enter into this on an as-needed basis.
Thank you. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for tire recapping services to Best One Tire Company and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Phillips. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution to award the bid for the purchase of rock salt for fiscal '25. Seems appropriate when it's 99 degrees outside for us to be awarding the bid for rock salt. This will be purchased on an as-needed basis. We'd ask that you approve the resolution.
Nothing like thinking ahead.
That's right.
Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution awarding the bid for the purchase of rock salt to Compass Minerals America Incorporated and alternatively pursuant to state contract number 507 as a secondary source if needed, and authorizing the city manager to execute purchase orders for the same.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
It's moved by the Vice Mayor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Duncan. Any discussion? So about January, I'll be calling Ryan about this, right?
That's right.
You haven't plowed my house, my street. Okay, any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
Next item is consideration of a resolution approving an amendment to the interlocal cooperation agreement between the Emergency Communications District and the City of Kingsport. This comes to us from our Emergency Communication District Board, or the E911 Board. This is an increase for fiscal '25 in the amount of $100,000. Additionally, as stated in the action form, the Emergency Communication District will also be doing a complete evaluation of their funding, and that will be potentially brought back for an amendment later in the year. We're appreciative of this, and we ask that you approve the resolution authorizing this agreement.
Thank you. And this board is composed of citizen volunteers who are just doing this out of the goodness of their heart, and I appreciate what they do. Mr. Attorney, please publish.
A resolution approving an amendment to the second amended agreement between the city and the Emergency Communications District of the City of Kingsport, Tennessee, and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all the documents necessary and proper to effectuate the purpose of the agreement.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes 7-0. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we now move into the consent agenda. We have 8 items on the agenda. I'll read through those. If you'd like anyone pulled for further discussion, please let me know. First is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute all documents necessary and proper to apply for and receive a grant from the State of Tennessee School Resource Officer SRO Grant Program for fiscal '25. Item 2 is consideration of resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a signature authority form allowing the chief of police or his designee to complete grant reports as required by the State of Tennessee School Resource Officer SRO Grant Program for fiscal '25. Item 3 is consideration of a resolution ratifying the mayor's signature on the Pet Works Partner Agreement. Item 4 is consideration of a resolution to authorize Northeast State Community College to enter into a sublease agreement with participating institutions. Item 5 is consideration of a resolution to enter into an agreement with the Kingsport Tribe Youth Football and Cheer for the use of city facilities for youth sports programs. Item 6 is consideration of a resolution authorizing the renewal of the MOU with Camelot Care Centers for behavioral health and counseling services for Kingsport City Schools, authorizing the mayor to execute all applicable documents. Item 7 is consideration of a resolution to apply for and receive First Tennessee Area Agency on Aging and Disabilities Annual Senior Center Grant. Finally, item 8 is consideration of a resolution for a site agreement with First Tennessee Human Resources Agency. We'd ask that you approve the 8 items as presented unless you would like one pulled for further clarification.
Thank you. Board, are there any members that would like one or more of these items pulled for separate discussion and vote? If not, do I hear a motion to approve all 8?
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Alderman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the Vice Mayor. Any discussion? If not, Madam Recorder, please take the vote.
Alderman Cooper,
Aye to all 8.
Alderman Duncan,
Aye to all.
Vice Mayor George,
Aye to all.
Alderman Montgomery,
Aye to all.
Alderman Alterman,
Aye to all.
Alderman Phillips,
Aye to all.
Mayor Schul.
Aye to all items 1 through 8, therefore they all pass unanimously. Mr. City Manager.
All right, move into the communications section of the agenda. We're all wearing Fun Fest shirts. We're on the eve of Fun Fest. Typically, we'd have a meeting during the week of Fun Fest, so this is a little different. I want to recognize both Paul Montgomery and Colette George, our former chairs of our Fun Fest committee, and appreciate the amount of work that you all put into it in the past. In recognition of the upcoming week, I also want to take a moment to thank our countless number of city employees who will be out there throughout the week supporting the various events that take place as part of Fun Fest. A lot of people don't realize many of these employees, if not all of these employees, work their day job, whatever department or crew that they are a part of, and then they clock out, clock back in after a short time and go to work well into the night, ensuring that everything is set up for the next day, cleaned up, taken down. Tremendous amount of support from both police and fire as well. And then a lot of folks within this building will be part of Trash Busters, or they will be volunteering with other programs to make 9 days of the festival the success that it is. So I greatly appreciate our staff, the amount of time they give, recognizing they've got some long hours ahead of them, but they enjoy it, and they enjoy the opportunity to interact with the citizens, and we're just appreciative that they have that attitude and the joy that they find in doing that. It really helps complete what is always a great festival. So, Mayor, that's all I have. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. I believe I'll start with Paul.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Starting out with, on the 27th, Healthy Kingsport and Bark Bound will host their second annual Walking Wag Fun Fest event. So bring your pups out and walk a mile on the Greenbelt. And on August the 7th, weekly walking club will start in Fort Henry Mall. For those of us who are 50-plus years of age, they will begin the walking club at the Fort Henry Mall. And there's a new class that will begin. Again, Healthy Kingsport will host a lunch and learn on August 22nd and this is for type 1 and 2 diabetes program, and it's taught by the UT Extension. And let me say ahead of time, thanks to all the city staff and those who will be involved in Fun Fest, because I know that's a big task, and 40-plus years is significant that we've been able to have this party for 40-plus years. So congratulations and thank you for the work that will be done.
Is that it?
Yep.
Thank you, Paul. James?
Just a couple things. One, it's been a crazy week in national politics this week, so I just want to reiterate how thankful I am that this is a local, nonpartisan. Our local board is nonpartisan. When I was at the mayor forum, there was a question of, they ask, what do the candidates think about this become, partisan or not partisan for our local BMA, and I was thankful to hear that all of them agreed that it needed to be nonpartisan, and I feel that way too. We're your friends and neighbors, and we don't need to get caught up in that mess. So it's been a wild week. But 2 other meetings I attended this week that I hope that the citizens are watching and listening to is, number 1 was the Main Street Rebuild Project meeting right here in this room, and really good updates from everybody, and gave the opportunity for citizens to ask questions, and that especially, the people who have businesses on Main Street and residences. And so I thought that was a great meeting. I think their plan is to hold another meeting. That project is still on path to be completed by 2025, so summer 2025. So we're still on pace. But the second meeting is I went to the Domtar held their first public meeting at KEDB the other day about the smell that's been coming out of Domtar. It's unfortunately the dirty little secret right now, I guess. But I thought that the meeting was very good, and one of the things that I ask, and that other people I think in the room were asking as well, is that Domtar hold a public meeting to discuss this with the citizens of Kingsport, just what's happened, where we are now, and where we're going in the future. I can say from the meeting, I was very pleased with what they're saying. This is going to be a major financial commitment from Domtar to fix the issue, but they are committed to it. And I think, I've heard nothing but positive things from the people at Domtar about what their expectations are. And the most important thing to take away from this is there are facilities in the United States who operate just like Domtar do and do not have a smell. So there is a victory to be achieved here, and I think that that's really positive. But that's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Tommy?
Let's see, I've only got about 10 things.
Okay.
I don't know where to start. No, really, I had an interesting call today with the coach at DB, and he's a head football coach, and he was telling me that they're working hard trying to put a good team on the field, so we just got to pull for them.
I think the 29th is July. We can start getting your tickets.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anything
29th.
else?
That's it.
Okay, good. Roll Tribe.
Roll Tribe.
Darrell?
Yeah, just a couple items here. In 1984, there was a group of citizens here in Kingsport started Trash Busters. And so that's been 40 years ago. And so they will, at the kickoff breakfast on Friday at Meadowview, the original, at least some of the original, most of them will be at that breakfast to be recognized. And so that program has been going strong since. And I think Fun Fest started in 1981, and that started just thereafter. Also, the trash barrel paint, was today, and so 700 people participated in that. They painted almost 500 trash barrels, and that was sponsored by Domtar, and they've been a long-time sponsor of that event, and it remains to be one of the more popular events. And we could not do that without the Public Works people as well, because it takes a long time to unload 500 trash barrels. So hats off goes to Keep Kingsport Beautiful and Trash Busters for that. If you'd like to be a participant in Trash Busters for Fun Fest, then get a hold of Sharon Hayes or get a hold of me, and we'll certainly sign you up for that. And then finally, just urge everybody to get out and go vote. We've had good turnouts, especially on Friday, and we had a pretty good, I haven't seen the numbers, on Friday and Saturday, but there was a number of people out that was out to vote, and it has been extremely hot. Tan has gotten better and better, and looks more like shoe leather every day, so we hope people can get out.
We've got over 33,000 registered voters in Kingsport City. Is that it, Darrell?
That's it.
Thank you, Ms. Betsy.
I always have to mention something about Christmas. Last week, they had the Christmas in Kingsport, Christmas in July pre-sale for the trees. And out of 105 trees, all but 15 were sold during the pre-sale. So they'll open the trees back up for sale in October. It's the trees that they're sponsored for Christmas in Kingsport. I think in October they'll open back up, so there's only 15 left. So if you want a tree, you better be looking for the time in October when you can purchase the last 15. I went to a Downtown Kingsport Association meeting this morning, and it's just some things to save the date. This Friday night is the Fun Fest Parade, and also the Twilight Alive concert. And it's conch. I think last year they were conch on the half shell, but they've dropped their half shell. It's just conch this year. And it's a Jimmy Buffett type band with a lot of the island music, a lot of the beach music. So, and that's after the parade downtown. That's the very last Twilight Alive concert. The downtown street fair will be on the 20th, Saturday. So they'll have all kinds of, Robin was naming all the different performers and all the different things that are happening for the street fair. There's something for everyone. They're having to touch the truck. So I know that Colette loves to go see all the Public Works trucks, and all the trucks will be lined up on, I don't know where they'll be lined up. Last year was on Main Street. I'm not sure, somewhere. Do you know anyone?
It was on Main Street last year and up around the,
But Main Street's closed, I don't know. Anyway, to touch the trucks, if you have children, little boys especially, it's a fun time to go. You can get inside the buses and the police cars and the fire engines. August 1st is the Back to Campus Shop and Hop. August 2nd is the Friday food rally. August 17th is called Girls Night Out, and it's a fundraiser for DKA, and it's all kinds of, you buy a ticket and you get all kinds of special things going on in all the stores in downtown. The big fundraiser is the Whiskey and Wine Social on the 21st. And on the 26th is Trick or Treat on the Street. And if you weren't there last year, thousands, literally, of children and adults come to our downtown. So there's a lot of things going, so you can go to the DKA website and see all the things that are happening in our downtown. There's truly something for everyone. And I went to the Fun Fest store today and picked up, you used to get those little trifold brochures, but this is the brochure this year. I guess it outgrew the little trifold. But if you look at this, if you look at the daily events and the events that are happening, there's something fun for everyone happening almost every day. So be sure to I have a new guy at work that I was telling him about Fun Fest because he's got children. And I just kept saying, yeah, we're doing this on this day, and he just finally said, okay. Oh, you know, that's okay. Because there's just so much going on.
Betsy, may I help you out on that point? Betsy, absolutely right. She got that at the Fun Fest store at the chamber. I saved mine. I got in the newspaper as an insert. And if you hadn't done it that way, go to funfest.net.
And there are all kinds of things.
All those things that, yes, ma'am, Julie?
Such a truck is on Broad Street this year. On Broad? Okay.
I know, I love it.
Yeah, it's. Well, I think on the two far ends of Broad Street are going to be the events and all the performers. Then I'm sure they'll, like I said, they had to kind of maneuver things around because of Main Street. But anyway, there's a lot of things happening, so just be sure that you take advantage of all the fun things that are happening in Kingsport, because a lot of visitors from the outside come, and so if you're a Kingsport resident, you just need to.
Family reunions.
It is. My daughter comes from South Carolina with her two children every Fun Fest. It's her favorite week of the year. So I've got grandchildren coming to my house just to go touch a truck.
With me.
I'll send them with you.
Is that it?
That's it.
Thank you, Betsy. Vice Mayor?
A lot of it's been touched on, but I do want to mention that we had an absolutely fantastic presentation last night about the dental clinic. And this is, the floss cutting is going to be toward the end of this month. They will actually start seeing patients in August, and the students will be here in September. This is a wonderful thing for Kingsport, not just because of the educational opportunity, but also for affordable dental care in this area. It is something we really need. I know Chris kept us on track that we get to celebrate phase 1 and immediately go into working on phase 2, which is to get a 4-year dental school here. And this is just a wonderful opportunity, and it was a great presentation last night. The facility is looking fantastic, so real excited about cutting that floss. And then for the mayor to let him know that the international pageants begin next week and will run for 2 weeks, so they will be in Kingsport.
Yeah, I like welcoming them.
Yeah. And then the one one good thing about Fun Fest, there's so many good things, but one of the, we always seem to have an absolute downpour at some time. And the city workers are fantastic. I think the year I chaired, I mean, it was almost tornado, rainstorm, huge, and I mean, it happened right after the last concert, and the next morning by 7 in the morning, you could not even tell. I mean, our public works people are awesome, but we had so much rain, and I hope that every night at the last event finishes, that it rains all the way to the new one, because I know I would celebrate that, because I know we need a lot of rain right now. Betsy touched on a lot of events. One that I really want to mention, especially for any new people, is Breakfast with Balloons. And that is not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And I think we have 17 balloonists coming this year. And there were some opportunities because they did not have enough volunteers to crew the different balloons. I think now they have plenty. But if you haven't done it and you want to get on the list for next year, it is a really neat opportunity. We crewed for many years, and then actually my son was living in New Mexico, and I went to the New Mexico hot air balloon, and Sonny from here was going, and so I got to crew at that show, which was unbelievable too. But the balloonists that come in are just such nice people, and they love to come here. But if you have any kids, grandkids, you can walk through, and the balloonists will talk to you. They'll show you how the fans work, how they do it in the morning, and it's truly a really kid-friendly and adult-friendly thing to do is Saturday morning breakfast with balloons.
And the balloon glow the night before is
And
beautiful.
the glow the night before, and it's if you're interested in crewing, Wayne Fortney will be there, and just get your name on the list for next year, because a lot of people host the balloonists in their homes, and a lot of people volunteer to crew, and it's just kind of neat. It's just, I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
What do we expect, about 20 balloons?
17. We have 17 on tap for this year that are committed, and so it should be. I said, I love the balloons. I love the concerts. I love the balloons. I love Touch a Truck. I think Fun Fest is great.
Okay. Well said by a former Fun Fest chairperson. Is that it?
That was it. Okay.
Okay.
George, would you mind elaborating a little bit on that dental program? I missed all that.
As soon as we finish this meeting, I will.
Yeah,
I'll tell you where it is and where you need to go sign up.
There you go.
Okay. Great, that's a good idea.
I like to say, Mayor, that.
You got an
that I-
alibi,
that I'm
go
gonna-
ahead.
I'm gonna participate in the parade.
Okay.
I'm gonna take my golf cart again.
Oh, you are in the
Oh,
Fun
yeah.
Fest parade?
Yeah, and I hope to have more riders than I had in the 4th of July parade.
Okay. Okay, we'll wave at you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Early voting is in progress. We don't vote on Sundays, and on Saturday, the hours are from 9 to 12. On Monday through Friday, the hours are from 8 to 4.
9 to 4.
9 to 4.
9 to
Excuse me,
4.
9 to 4. And the last day is the 27th of July. The gentleman, he read some things, I guess, out of the newspaper or the chamber published. Let me back up. I've been to all the forums. There's been debate forums with the alderman and mayor. I've been to all. And I've read these excerpts that are published in the newspaper, published by the chamber. And everything that you've read or heard, unfortunately, has not been factual. And whether that's deliberate or just a misunderstanding on the part of some of the candidates, I don't know. But one of the most concerning problems that we face in this age of social media is that people can come on there and they can express their opinions, and that's fine. This is America. I fought for that right. But facts are facts. And someone states something that's just not true, well, it gets restated by others, and it causes a problem for the city to constantly have to explain. I'm very proud of our communications folks. They got an award here, a few awards here earlier. So I'm open to the citizens to try to help shed some light if they so desire. Other than that,
Can I ask a question?
I can talk to you after this. We're adjourned.
Thank you.